Update right now on the case against Governor Gavin Newsom's ex-chief of staff, Dana Williamson. Williamson is facing nearly 24 federal charges related to stolen political funds, falsifying documents, and tax fraud.
That's a long list. Williamson was expected to be back in court this week. KCRA 3 political director Ashley Zavala joins us now with what court filings show today.
Lisa and Andrea, court records show Williamson's court date is getting pushed back again because her attorneys and the federal government appear to be negotiating a possible plea deal. Federal prosecutors have accused Williamson of various crimes stemming from 3 separate incidents. That includes organizing a scheme to steal $225,000 in funds from an inactive political campaign account belonging to former U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra, who is also running for California governor. In separate incidents, the federal government also accuses her of falsifying documents as she was being investigated for taking small business loans during the pandemic, and she's also accused of tax fraud. Now, in a joint court filing today from both sides of this case, attorneys for Williamson and the federal government wrote, quote, "The parties are engaged in active discussions toward resolving the case. If a plea agreement is not reached by May 14th, the parties intend to request at that status conference that the case be set for jury trial." Now, authorities arrested Williamson back in November for the alleged crimes. Her co-conspirators who helped organize the system to steal Becerra's funds have pled guilty and had plea agreements in place at the time that Williamson's case was made public. Now, Williamson not only served as Governor Gavin Newsom's chief of staff, but also as a campaign manager and advisor to Xavier Becerra, who is running for governor. She did that in his capacity when he was running for attorney general. Now, through the scheme, Williamson allegedly helped organize up to $10,000 a month in payments were coming out of Becerra's account, which experts say is an outrageous amount of money. Becerra has said he was a victim and had no idea. I pressed him about this when I interviewed him for California Politics 360 last week. Through your congressional campaigns, I mean, dating back to the 90s, like never once did you pay that amount for this kind of maintenance, for legal services, for nothing. I mean, like, did you really not, that didn't raise any flags for you, those payments?
So we were paying for management of a dormant account, making sure that no laws were violated. Because I was Secretary of Health and Human Services, a cabinet member, I had to distance myself from anything that looked political or campaign related. I had ethics rules that were in place that required me to distance myself, and so I depended on people that I trusted to be able to manage that the right way. We were going to pay for the management. You always pay for someone to oversee, to file the right documents and the rest. And I was willing to pay the price to make sure that I didn't have to worry about it. Lo and behold, while I was willing to pay a price, and by the way, the attorneys of the campaign account signed off on all those payments as well. It wasn't as if there wasn't someone who was checking. The attorneys were checking, and they were saying, you know, everything seemed kosher. What happened was, after the payments, the way the money was used is where the violation occurred. There was no violation in terms of the payment. That's why I and my campaign were not implicated in the actual activities.
So those payments he's referring to, that money was used to funnel money away from Becerra's campaign to the personal bank account of his longtime chief of staff. His name is Sean McCluskey. McCluskey is one of the co-conspirators in this case that has pleaded guilty. We reached out to Williamson's attorney, McGregor Scott, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. We have not yet heard back from Williamson's attorney, but a spokesperson for federal prosecutors confirmed the discussions on that plea deal tonight are ongoing. Back to you.
All right. Glad you got to ask those questions. Ashley, thank you.